As I showed you in my last video, I switched from 20 years using Windows desktop PCs and laptops to a MacBook Pro 15-inch 2019 to replace both. First I had the MacBook Pro 13-inch, but I needed more power for my video editing in Final Cut Pro. Having the MacBook Pro 15-inch with a Vega 20 graphics card and 32GB of RAM, this is a whole new game. Because now I have more than enough performance to plug in my two monitors, a 4K from Samsung and a WQ HD from Asus, replacing my high-end PC for productivity work like video editing. Anyway, I will keep my PC for gaming. Because let's face it, a Mac is not meant to play 3D games with. How I set everything up and what additional equipment I had to get, I will show you now. I will also put all the links to the products that I think were worth buying into the description of this video. The bottleneck was the connection to my monitors. First, I tried a cheap adapter from Hama, which I originally bought for my iPad Pro 2018, but this wouldn't allow me to connect to my monitor via HDMI at all. Neither using my iPad Pro nor my MacBook Pro worked with it, so I used it just to have a USB card reader. Then I made some research and realized that I need to purchase an adapter that is dedicated to 4K 60Hz performance. So for the monitors, I bought a USB-C to DisplayPort adapter by Logitech. This actually worked very well out of the box. Of course, another option would have been just buying USB-C to HDMI cable. However, this way I saved one USB-C slot on my MacBook. In addition, and to replace the old card reader, I went for an arcade adapter, which took away another two USB-C slots on my MacBook Pro. It looked good to me on the product page and it offers a lot of connections. However, I wasn't happy at all with this adapter. It was around 40 euros and although it worked okay, it was tedious to unplug it from my MacBook. I was always afraid to either break the adapter or damage my MacBook. Also, the card reader felt like I would break my SD card every time I put it in, as you can see by all the scratches on the card. So my goal was to get something hassle-free that will stay on my desk. In the Apple Store I saw there are docking stations with external power supply and I was shocked by the price. However, after the experience I got so far and making more research, I realized that if I want to get a proper desk setup with my MacBook Pro, that I have to invest a little more than I had before for those adapters. Finally, I was happy to see that Elgato offers such a dock too. Also, I'm not sponsored by Elgato. You think that I am, because I got loads of things from them, like the Stream Deck, my studio lights called Keylight, the Camlink and HD60S for live streaming with my DSLR camera. Well, even my green screen from my old videos is from Elgato. And I tell you this, Elgato always met my high quality standards when it comes to equipment. This is why I decided to also go and get the Thunderbolt 3 Pro Dock for my MacBook Pro from this company. Unpacked, plugged in, and there's no looking back. I returned immediately the code jack and the Orki adapters as I knew this is it. It is very costly, around 370 euros. However, with this dock I have the ultimate and hassle-free MacBook Pro desk setup. All I need to do is to plug it into my MacBook Pro and everything is ready to go. My two monitors, the card reader, two USB 3 and Ethernet connection. There's even a separate headphone and a separate headset connection. I can plug in my iPad Pro and it is not only charging it, but it can use the new sidecar feature in macOS Catalina too. If you don't know what this allows you to have a display extension on your iPad where you can even use your Apple Pencil with it. So this means you can use Photoshop and use your Apple Pencil finally within Photoshop. So first I thought I would use the MacBook Pro in this setup just on the side, which is why I also bought a MacBook holder, the big Apple keyboard and the Apple touchpad. which cost me another 400 euros. And yes, it works great. I was stunned by how good the touchpad actually worked. Actually, it feels exactly like you are used to it from the MacBook touchpad. But the keyboard is not worth the money. It even doesn't have a backlit. I also realized I missed the touch bar, so it's not on there obviously. And the display of the MacBook Pro became useless in the distance. So I rearranged the setup. To me, this is now the ultimate setup. I simply place the MacBook in front of me, and together with the Apple Magic Mouse 2, it works like a charm. So for me, I don't need the additional keyboard and touchpad, and it saves me 400 euros. Now I can do all the work I was used to do on my Windows PC on the go with my MacBook Pro. And once I get into my office, I simply plug it into my Elgato Thunderbolt 3 Pro deck and everything is set up. I also don't need to worry about unplugging all of the connected devices, such as my Samsung T5 SSD or the SD card, as there is a little software on the MacBook that comes along with the dock that allows you to safely unplug the whole dock from your MacBook Pro. The dock is providing 85 watt for the MacBook Pro to charge it. It doesn't matter what I plug into the dock, like the iPad Pro or other devices, there is enough power for all of them. Setting up an additional display is even better than on a Windows machine, I think, because for my feeling the scaling is working much better. This means when I use the 4K display, I can scale it without getting blurred windows or apps, which isn't working that great on Windows. Also, I can target certain apps to start on a specific display only. This is awesome, as I don't have to move around apps each time I open them. I'm using a lot of Logitech equipment on my Windows machine. Unfortunately, using the gaming keyboard and the mouse on the MacBook Pro is not even worth mentioning. However, my RGB speakers, the G560, can be connected via Bluetooth, and this works great. I simply have to connect it and the sound is running through those speakers. This way I can leave the old PC setup for gaming and still can use the speakers with my MacBook Pro. It is a real shame though, because if the keyboard and the mouse would have worked, I could have used a USB switch like the Ugreen one to switch between Mac and Windows with a simple press of a button. One thing that I want to test too is Logitech Flow, a software and equipment setup by Logitech that allows you to seamlessly move files between Windows and Mac. Yes, this actually means drag and drop it using the same mouse from one machine to the other, but this might be in another video. For a moment I was thinking about sending back my 15-inch MacBook Pro and wait for the new 16-inch MacBook Pro. However, I fell in love with my 15-inch MacBook Pro, and the fact that the new MacBook will cost even more for sure, I decided to stay with this version. The performance is just awesome. Of course, if you look at the specs only compared to my Windows PC, it is not even close what I had before. However, Apple is doing such a great job leveraging the hardware in a much more efficient way than Windows does it. So it feels even faster than using my Windows PC, especially when doing video editing in Final Cut Pro. So obviously the software is perfectly optimized for macOS. I was happy when I tested my wife's new MacBook Air. I was even happier when I tested the 13-inch MacBook Pro. And now using the MacBook Pro 15-inch every day keeps me in a state of excitement for more than 2 weeks now. It is great on its own, but using it in desk mode with the Elgato Dock makes it the ultimate working platform to get things done. It's actually Apple-like. It just works. You plug it in and it works. So if you think this video was helpful and you want to join the paperless movement, become a member of the paperless movement, learn everything on how to go paperless, subscribe to this channel, go to the description where you can actually sign up to the membership, leave a comment below, give it a like, share it with your friends. So many things I want for you to do. Pick one, pick all of them. I'm just glad that you stayed until the end of the video. I wish you a good day, I wish you a good night, and I see you next time.